What up, guys? It's Megan, and welcome to a new reading vlog. So this reading vlog is obviously starting off a little bit different. I usually don't film. I usually do film at least once in my car, but I don't usually start in the car, and I am today because I am not at my apartment. I am actually out of town at my sister's home, where I have spent the past week with her and my brother-in-law and my lovely niece. And so I actually haven't done much reading while I've been here, which is bad because I'm so behind on my May TBR already. But that's besides the point, because I'm about to get a lot of reading done, because I'm about to read 3 books in 3 days. Can you guess which ones? It's May 15th, which means I have 4 days until the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes comes out. And so, because I'm going to go out and buy that book as soon as it's released, I only have 3 days to read The Hunger Games, Catching Fire, and Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I am nervous. I am traveling, obviously. I'm going to be traveling to my parents' home. And then I will be driving back to my apartment in these 3 days. So I will be listening to the audiobooks mostly the audiobooks for these 3 books, and I've never listened to them before. I have reread this series, I think 3 times before, so I'm excited to experience it new, like in a new media, but at the same time, I'm scared I'm not gonna like the audiobooks. Oh my goodness. I think it's because when I read the Harry Potter Illustrated Edition, I didn't like it as much, so I think I'm not gonna like the audiobooks as much as the Hunger Games. But we can hope. We can hope. Like I said, I am going to be driving home. That will be today. I'm only gonna get about like 3 hours of my audiobook done. I haven't checked how long the audiobook is. I want to say it's like maybe 7 or 8 hours. So I don't usually listen to it on double speed. My brain works too slowly for that. But I think I can maybe do like 1.5. And I'm hoping that will bump up my time by a lot. But even then, I'm leaving at a good time that I'll be able to read some more physically at my parents' house. Or I could do audiobook and, I don't know, make them all listen to. Those are the books I'm going to be reading. I have to get driving and listening, and I'm going to start this reading vlog off with some good progress, hopefully. All right, I'll check in later. Well, I forgot to update yesterday, but that's honestly okay because I didn't do much reading outside of driving. That's all I had done yesterday, and I thought the audiobook was only like 8 hours or something. It's not. It's like, I want to say it's like between 11 and 12 hours. So even though I did get a good chunk done yesterday, because I didn't read any after, I'm still way behind. So I've read this much out of this much to go for the Hunger Games. But it's really early this morning. Really early this morning. It's like, I guess it's like 8 o'clock. So I'm hoping to finish the rest of this before lunch. I definitely think I can because it's a reread. It'll be a really fast read, and I already read pretty quickly in books I know I like. I'm hoping to finish this before lunch, or at least like before 2, and then I can start getting some progress in Catching Fire. But yeah, the audiobook was really good. I liked it. I liked the narrator except for like 2 things, and that was just the way she pronounced words would frustrate me so much. Just like certain words like names, I guess. Like she would say Peeta Mellark instead of Peeta Mellark, which, you know, to each his own, but like Mellark, it just sounds ugly. It sounds ugly. And then the voices she did, like her voice for just narrating
was fine. But then when people spoke, she tried to do a different voice for everyone, and she made Katniss sound like so gross. So gross. And then she made Peeta sound even worse. And it's like, what the heck? Oh, don't even get me started on her voice for Prim. Like, Prim's 11, not a 5-year-old. It's like, she does not sound like that. I just wish she spoke. I just wish she spoke because her voice is beautiful. So, the voices I don't like, pronunciation I don't like, but I can't be too critical because I've heard worse audiobooks. I'm excited to read physically. I'm more of a physical reader than an audiobook listener, so I'm gonna get this knocked out. Well, you probably can't tell, but it's been a few hours later and I have actually completed what I said I was going to in the time I said I was going to. It is 1:58. 1:58, 2 minutes before 2 o'clock, my deadline, and I finished The Hunger Games, and I'm very impressed because I finished it, and I took like an hour or two break to go get lunch with my family and go shopping a little. So that's really exciting, and that means I get to now move on to Catching Fire. But before I dive into reading this, I want to talk about my thoughts a little on The Hunger Games, and I just forget like how good it is. You know, like you finish a book and you're like, that was so good, I love it, becomes like a favorite, and then like a year or two passes before you ever read it again, and you're like, I know it's great, I know I loved it, but why? And just like reading this book, I had to like stop some like every like 30 pages and just be like, this is so good, like this is so freaking good. And like Suzanne Collins is a master at delivering information, like the right amount of information that we need at the right moments. It never once feels info dumpy, even though we get a lot of information in the beginning, but she does it in a way that it's introduced so casually, and then she never gives us everything. She hints at like future information that she'll give us later, and it just makes you wonder like, oh, what else is there? Like, what else is there to learn? It never feels like too much, and I just really appreciate that. Another thing, I never realized how much of the book takes place in the games, which like it obviously, right? But I always forget the first part, like the interview and the reaping and all that stuff is not as much big a part in the book. Well, I mean it is, but like it's such a shorter section. Like this is interview and then this is games, and I forgot how much is the games, because I feel like in the other books, and especially the movies, like that's how I have most recently seen them, like it feels like so much more time in the like prep part instead of the games part. So I don't know, I just love it. I love it, and I'm really excited to continue on. I think I'm going to probably get the audiobook for Catching Fire and listen to that just for like an hour or two again, just to make some good headway before I can really knock it out physically. So I'll probably play Animal Crossing or something. It is pouring rain. It's so gloomy. But honestly, isn't that great reading weather? Maybe if I can find them, if we have them, I think we do, but if not, I'm gonna try and convince my family to watch one of the Hunger Games today. If it's gonna be the first one or the last one, I don't know, but one of them. I'm excited! Well, it turns out that I am terrible at updating at night, or at least in the evening. Sorry for that noise. I'm sitting behind a cornhole board and it wobbles, but I'm gonna try not to move so much. Also, I'm outside, so if you hear outside noises, enjoy them. Yesterday, I finished The Hunger Games like I told y'all, and I got a good chunk of the way through Catching Fire. I'm not sure, I haven't found the portion that I listened to, but I would say probably about the same that I had listened to The Hunger Games with, so like only like this much, and I have like a whole big chunk to go. I had planned to read more yesterday, but we ended up watching The Hunger Games, and those movies are brilliant, and after the Hunger Games, I was supposed to read, but we ended up watching Catching Fire too. And let me tell you, Catching Fire is my favorite book and my favorite movie of the whole trilogy. I think they're just so good. And can I just talk about the movies for a second? The casting for Hunger Games was amazing. So well done. Like, Effie, perfect. Haymitch, perfect. Katniss, perfect. Peeta, perfect. Gale, I don't care about Gale, so it don't matter anyways. But, like, everyone, it's just perfect. Oh, and I just, like, if you watch Harry Potter, but you don't read the books, people are going to be like, oh, you need to read the books. Like, there's so much left out of the books, or left out in the movies. Like, you have to watch it. But I feel like for the Hunger Games, like, if you've only watched the Hunger Games and you just didn't like reading, I'd be like, you know what? You know enough. Like, you know enough. Obviously, you miss a lot of little details. The Hunger Games movies, just, they cover the topics in the books so well, in my opinion, and they add a little bit more that I almost wish was in the books. Like, in the first Hunger Games, when I was reading it, I completely forgot that you never see President Snow, you never see Seneca Crane, you don't see any of that until Catching Fire, and it was genius to put it in the movies. It was so good. And I really do almost wish we had that in the first book as well. But I think that's a reason why I love the second book so much, is because we get so much history, we get so much background to the games, like, we get so much more. Like, usually filler books, like the second book of a series is a filler book, and it has a lot of necessary information, but that information is given to us in a boring way, which makes second books like lull. But like I said, Suzanne Collins is so good at giving us information in a way that we enjoy it and that we want more information. And like this right here, this book is the perfect example of how she did that. I'm blown away. And I love the new characters. I love Finnick. I love Joanna. Joanna's a fave. I love her so much, especially in the third book. I'm excited to see it. Before I sign off and get back to reading, I wanted to do a little book haul, because me and my mom went book shopping yesterday, since our Half Price Books was open to the public. So we donned our masks, went in, and shopped for a good 30 minutes, and I got a pretty good haul, I think. So the first one I'm going to talk about is I got Illuminae hardback. This was only $7. I love Half Price Books, but I really don't know much about what Illuminae is, but I am a big fan of sci-fi. I'm gonna hold it over here. I am a big fan of sci-fi, so I think that's why I'll like it, and I've heard such good things about it. What I know is it's like two kids falling in love in space. I think there might be a war going on, but I also know it's mixed media, and so I've never read a book that is read in the same experience as this one. Have I? No, I haven't. So yeah, I'm excited to give this one a go, but it might be a while because it's a chunker. The next one that is also pretty chunky is Tess of the Road. I didn't say the author. Okay, well, I'm sure you know Illuminae. Amie, Kaufman, and Kristoff for Illuminae. And then Tess of the Road by Rachel Hartman. I saw this book on BookTube like earlier of 2019, I want to say. When was it? Or maybe late 2018. And it was like not raved, but it was hyped just a tiny little bit because of the dragons aspects on it. Yeah, 2018, so it must be late 2018. So yeah, because of the dragon aspect, it was like hyped, but then I don't think anyone read it, or at least didn't like share their thoughts that I saw. Like, I can handle birds, but I can't handle air conditioning. Sorry for the air conditioning noise. I told you I'm outside, can't help it. But yeah, so I haven't heard anyone talk about it, so I've just been interested. I know like dragons are almost making a comeback. I know Burn by Patrick Ness has dragons, and there's some other book that came out that has dragons that I can't think. It seems interesting. I don't fully know the concept. So it's supposed to be like kind of medieval with a girl named Tess who wants to take a journey or something, and that's really what I'm getting. The last one I got is oh no, hold up, let me take off a sticker. You'll probably recognize, it's very talked about in certain booktubes, and that is This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone. Amal, El-Mohtar. Yeah, it's a very short book compared to these two chunkers, and I really don't know fully what it's about. It's another space battle. That's all I know. It's another space battle, and I'm excited to read it because I've heard such good things, especially from Catty-tastic, who like read this like a million times in 2 days or something like that. I want to know what it's about, and it was at Half Price Books, and my mom said you can get 3 books, so I got it, and I'm excited. But now that I have shown you my 3 books, I am going to get on to reading the rest of Catching Fire. I am leaving back for my apartment in about 3 hours, so I think I can get another good chunk, but I probably won't finish it. I'll probably finish it in the car, and then I will start Mockingjay and finish that tonight. So yeah, that's my day. It's just gonna be reading and driving and more reading, and hopefully food in there at some point. But I will hopefully remember to check in with y'all because I'm supposed to get these done today. Well, technically I have Monday because I thought Monday was the 19th, but it's not. Tuesday's the 19th, Monday's the 18th. I apparently can't do math or keep track of days, but we all have our flaws. So, yeah, I do have tomorrow, but I would rather take tomorrow just to like prepare myself and maybe watch the last 2 Hunger Games because I only watched the first 2 yesterday. And yeah, like I said, I will check in with y'all when more comes up. After hours of driving, I'm finally back in my apartment, and it feels so nice to be back after a great week at home with my family and whatnot. And it feels even better because I finished Catching Fire on the way there, and it's still my favorite of the series. Oh my goodness. Sorry if you hear cat toys going in the background, but it is still my favorite of the series, and it's kind of funny. I didn't realize, like, so for the Hunger Games, I said I didn't realize how much time was spent in the games in that book. It's kind of the opposite with this one. I didn't realize how much time was spent not in the games. Like, I completely forgot. But I didn't mind. Like, I love all the, like, extra bits, like I said earlier when I last updated all that I loved about it. So, yeah, finished it, Catching Fire. And I didn't get very far into Mockingjay, but it's not too late in the night, so I might be able to finish this tonight if I stay up, and if I don't stay up, I will finish it early tomorrow morning, and then I will let you know how this whole experience has been, although I'm sure you can tell it's been pretty good. My goodness, toys are being played with. Y'all want to meet a special guest? Come here, Sparky. Sparky, come here. So I'm dog sitting. So this is Sparky. He's playing with both his toys and the cat toys. He's a star, and he's a great cuddler. So he'll cuddle with me. I will read, and this night will end on a very good note. Say bye, Sparky. Say bye, Sparky. Good morning, everyone. I am a bit of a mess this morning because I stayed up a little bit too late. But the good news is I'm here to basically film my last clip for this vlog because your girl finished Mockingjay. Oh my goodness, Sparky. He's excited. He's excited for me. He's so sweet. Yeah, I finished Mockingjay last night, and I definitely read this one the fastest out of all 3, and I think it's for a few reasons. First one, I think, again, because I've read it just so many times, I am reading the books faster, and I was kind of rushing through it. But also I think it's because this is like my least favorite, and so I was rushing through it even like a little bit more and kind of maybe like skimming a little bit. I don't ever really intend to skim. It just like happens where I'll read like a couple pages and then I'll be like, wait, did I like fully read that? So yeah, I think that's just what happened with this book. Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. Oh, Sparky. It's kind of interesting how, like I was talking about earlier, that like the second book is my favorite in this one, whereas usually the second book in most trilogies is like a lull, and then like
first and third are the best, and how like the third book in this book is lacking. And I don't know why that is. I think obviously it's because of some of the decisions she made in how to end it, because the first half of this book I don't know, most of this book I didn't have a problem with, and I really do love the like training arc with Katniss and Joanna, and like re-preparing themselves to do to go into battle. I really like that part a lot. I just think it's like the very, very end that I don't agree with. Not that I don't agree with. I don't understand it, I guess. Each time I read it, I do have a little bit more appreciation for what she chose to do, but at the end of the day, I'm still just like, you couldn't think of something else. I don't know. I just don't think it was as heartbreaking as I wanted it to, which sounds bad because obviously, like, spoilers, Prim dies, but I've never been that attached to Prim, and I should be, because I am an older sister myself. So I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I'm done with my reread, which means I am ready to full steam ahead and read The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which comes out very soon. It comes out tomorrow, or for y'all, today. So yeah, I'm excited, and I'm gonna take today to just decompress. Hunger Games is amazing, and if you haven't read it, you should. You should. It's really good. But if you have watched the movies, I think they really are just as good. And I know, especially for Mockingjay, the movies add some very important characters back into the story, whereas they're completely missing from the book. Effie, where the heck is she? That's my question. But it's fine. Everything's fine. We don't gotta worry about it. Sparky is just no squeaking. He's just so playful in the mornings, and yeah. That's all I have to say. That's all Sparky's got to say, right? He just wants to play. So I'm gonna go play with him. Yeah, y'all have a good day. And that's all I want to say. That's all I gotta say, and I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna go chill with Sparky. Bye.